All right, let's just get into it. Ladies, the thing that you gotta know about me is that I'm an engineering major, okay? So I'm forced to constantly use my brain, all right? And I gotta think in many different directions, streets, lanes, avenues, corners. What's that thing? Cul-de-sacs. I'm forced to think in a lot of different directions, okay? So when you tell me things that make absolutely no sense, it gets my brain going. Like, why would you even say that? Now, not too long ago, I texted a young lady, and over the course of a weekend, I was left undelivered. Now, the next time I saw her, and I talked to her about this, because, straight up with it, she was like, "Oh, I didn't know that you had texted me, and I was busy." Now, at this moment is when my brain started to work, started to get the gears going, because I know for a fact that she had looked, at my story periodically throughout the weekend. And I posted 3-4 times that weekend. And I do distinctly remember, it not being that far from when I had first posted on the story. So it got me thinking, is it possible for you to have seen my story and not know that I texted you? And that's the question we're going to answer today. All right, so let's break this down, right? Let's break this down. So you get on Snapchat, right? You getting on Snapchat, bet, right? For 3 different reasons, okay? Hold up, wait a minute. Way better. So you getting on Snapchat for 3 different reasons, right? You getting on there to text people, right? Get on there to text people, all right? You gonna get on there to look at some stories. Look at some stories. Don't mind my handwriting. I'm writing fast. You can hear me. Don't complain. All right, but bam. So text people, look at stories, and you might even check out the Discover side, okay? The Discover page, or just look at, the little entertainment, okay? They got entertainment on there. It'd be mad interesting, right? So 3 reasons why you getting on Snapchat, right? All right, cool. These 3. Surely you're not spending the same amount of time texting people, looking at stories, and being on the Discover page, getting entertained, right? You're not spending the same amount of time, right? So if we had to break this down of what you're spending most of your time, right? I'm willing to bet that you're spending most of your time texting people, right? You're going to spend most of your time on Snapchat texting people, right? Makes sense. And then right after that, you're going to look at some stories, okay? So we got 1, 2, and what do you know? 3, okay? You're going to text people first, majority of your time, look at some stories, then maybe if you're real bored, you're going to look at the Discover side. All right, boom. Now let's think about the app for a minute, right? When you open up Snapchat, right? You get on there, you know what I'm saying? And then you got the camera, okay? And then you can go left, and then you can go right? Don't mind my arrow, all right? I'm recording and drawing at the same time. Anyway, you can go left, you can go right? So over here is the chat side, okay? And over here, you got the stories and the Discover, all right? Bet, boom, boom, wow. There it is, okay? Now, we already know you spend the majority of your time on this side right here, because this is you texting people, right? So we just gonna give that a number. We just gonna say 90% of the time you on Snapchat, okay, you are on the chat side because you texting people, right? So here you go. You got the little bit emoji and the little chat, right? Boom, boom, boom. All right, there it is. Now, because of Snapchat's many updates, unwanted, we'll say, but because of the updates, you can see people's stories right next to the little chat in this little nice little circle. Matter of fact, let me add some color. All right, so here we go. We got some color, right? Because the circle be blue. So boom, you can look at the stories next to the people's chats, right? Okay, so now we gotta think. Where are you looking at stories most, okay? Are you looking at stories here? Are you looking at stories here? Now, since we know most of your time that you're on Snapchat, you texting people, right? We already established that. You over here. The most convenient place to find stories is obviously right here. You text someone, you come out, boom, it's right there. You're gonna look at the stories here. And even more reason to only get stories here is because these are the relevant people. These are the people most relevant to your life. If you texting them, of course you're gonna wanna look at their story. You're not going all the way to the story side to find stories, cause why? Most of it is gonna be subscriptions, a bunch of other stuff that you might not care about at that moment. So you over here finding stories, right? So we gonna say that out of 100%, 80% of where you find the stories, you are gonna be on the chat side, which means 20% here, okay? 20% of the time that you're looking at stories is on the discover side, all right? All right, now let's recap in case we lost anybody, right? You on Snapchat, right? You're gonna do one of three things. You're gonna text somebody, you're gonna look at some stories, or you're gonna be on the discover page looking at some stuff, entertainment bet, all right? But we know 90% of the time you're on Snapchat, you are texting people, which means you on this side of Snapchat, right? Okay, now we know you can look at stories from two different places. You can look at them here, or you can look at them on the discover side, right? But because we know that you're spending most of your time here, and it's most convenient to look at stories over here, you spending 80% of your time looking at stories on the chat side, right? So if you spending 80% of the time that you looking at stories on the chat side and only 20% on the discover side, it ain't no way in the sweet name of Jesus that you looked at my story and did not know that I texted you. I rest my case. Thank you for listening.